The answer is a vast cosmic explosion.
A vast cosmic explosion.
That's what I said. Describe Dr. Carl Sagan's wedding night. A vast cosmic explosion.
Howdy, partners. Well, since the winter was so crappy, it's getting nigh on to galaxy season. So I need to get the big reflector out, but I'm kind of into having an autofocuser now. So as we talked about before, the Crayford focuser on the reflector, not the greatest for trying to get an autofocuser on. Round bottom, the actual rod that the Crayford focuser rides on is like a 3mm rod, so it's really teeny, doesn't stick out very far, can't get a pulley on it. I tried and tried. Focus graph always looked like an EKG, so I decided to look around for a new focuser. So in all of my searching, I found one that I liked, did a little research on it, found out that it was the exact one that Queeve used for his reflector, so I guess it's probably pretty good. So I ordered it. It's here. Let's look. Okay, unboxing time again. This is what I got from China. And we'll start with this one. Alright, that's the first thing I got. That will be the base for the focuser. The one I built for my other one won't quite work with this focuser that I got. So this is the actual base for the focuser. I got it for the Skywatcher 200 because it's an 8-inch Newtonian. So hopefully the curve will fit mine. If not, I may have to lap this some way to get it to fit down good on my OTA. I think I will get some type of black caulk of some sort and just run a thin bead around the outside when I attach it to the OTA to prevent any light leaks through here. That's the plan. Alright, and now for the pièce de résistance. Alright, the ring that probably clamps on right there has push-pull to adjust tilt. Seems to fit in that good. No screws, and here is the focuser. Alright. This seems to be way better than the one I have. Rack and pinion. 10-to-1. I don't really feel much backlash. That's pretty smooth. Looks like it has almost 40mm of travel. Should be enough. Compression ring. That is nice. Aluminum. We'll try this out. That fits in there good. Then we can hook the camera right to these rings, and it has a rotator built in. So before I was just loosening up this part and rotating the whole camera and the coma corrector and everything. Now we can just rotate it normally. Okay, CYCK. CYCK. I'm sure that's what they mean. Oh, that feels nice. Locked in. I think these are for the focuser to lock it down. All right. Looks like this screws onto here. Okay, that feels good. So if I don't have the coma corrector in, I probably won't be able to get it back out now. Does look like it has ribbing on the inside, a little bit shiny. I don't know if that ribbing will stop any reflections, but the inside of the coma corrector has matte finish anyway, so flat anyway. Oh, okay, this was just loose, so if I tighten that up, all right, we're good now. We'll see if we can attach it to the OTA. All right, first thing we need to do is take the corrector plate off. I'll take the piece of tape, put it right along here, push it down on the OTA first. Seems to work better this way. And take your razor knife, cut it right along there. So now when you take it off, you can put it right back on. You just line up those lines, goes right back on in the same spot. So now we just got to take the 4 screws off here, pull the plate off, put it somewhere safe, and cover it up. Okay, here is my next tape trick. So I put my laser collimator on the focuser, and I put a piece of tape on the opposite side of the OTA and made a mark where the laser hits it. So when I take this off, I can put the new one on and hopefully get it aligned to where it hits that dot with the laser, and that should get me most of the way there. So now we take off my wonderful old focuser with just the 4 screws, and then we'll see what we have to do to get the new one on. All right, old focuser off. Good news, the radius on my new base is exactly the radius of my OTA, so it fits on there very solidly. We're going to have to drill some new holes. You can see that I had to drill a bigger hole when I put my new other focuser in, because the original crap focuser that came on the Meade SN8s was 1.25 inch draw tube, and my new one was a 2, so I had to take a 2-inch hole saw, drill it out. If you want to see how I did that, you can watch one of my older videos on installing that focuser. The trick I had for that was I took the little hole saw that fit in the original hole, and I put the bigger hole saw on top of it so I could fit this down inside the little hole, so the hole saw wouldn't go around like that, and drilled a pretty good hole. Yeah, it's not a bad hole. Anyway, we gotta get this lined up to where the laser's hitting back there, and we'll mark the holes, and we'll drill some new mounting holes and get this put on solidly, I guess. Okay, here we are. Securely screwed down. Pointing at the dot. Should be aligned. I actually used the little push-pull screws here to do my final alignment. Everything looks good. Feels tight. Oh, and look here. I wonder what this stuff could be for. Okay, I'll put the corrector plate back on. I had to vacuum out the inside, get rid of all the little metal shavings with my shop vac. Everything's all nice and flocked again. Okay, here is the autofocuser attached. I just have to reconfigure my controller with a second focuser. The settings will be just a little bit different. Has a 43mm travel. I think my other one had like 65. And one revolution is 16.5mm. Okay, so here we are with the big dog back on the mount. Got a couple of clear nights, hopefully. The CYCK focuser is installed with the new homemade EAF on it. I think this is the first time I've had my telescope on this mount since I upgraded the harmonic drive, so we'll see how that works. And it's the first time that I've had the cool camera on this telescope, so it's a night of firsts. Hope things work. You see that I've left the coma corrector hanging out of the focuser a little bit. I just wanted to achieve focus without cranking the focuser all the way out, so I got it to about halfway and then kind of focused in the daytime with the coma corrector. Now try focus runs tonight. Alright, we'll just wait for it to get dark and do some polar aligning and test out the focuser and see what we can do. Okay, here we are, all polar aligned. I had to work out a few bugs. When I did plate solving, ASCOM complained that the scale was wrong. I set it to 812mm for my telescope because that's what it is, but ASCOM complained that it really was 859mm. So apparently my coma corrector isn't a 1.0 coma corrector like I thought it was. Must be around a 1.1 maybe. Anyway, I changed that in the Nina settings and seems to be tracking 0.8 below, so it's not any worse with the heavy telescope. I just left the autofocus the same way it was with the other focuser, and it seems to work just fine, so I'm not messing with that right at the moment. So we'll just let this run, have a couple of dust motes. Oh well, I'll shoot some flats. So we'll see how this works out. So far, the focuser works great though. It doesn't look like it has any backlash. So I guess we're good. So in conclusion, the CYCK focuser, I think it's worth the money. Easily attached autofocus. It may not be a moonlight, but I don't think you really need that with astrophotography and autofocus. It does the job. Things I failed on, well, when I attached the camera, I forgot I was going to reset my O-tilter. So it was even worse this time. I had to crop in. My stars did not look good. So let me ask you guys, does anybody have the SV Boni multiband filter? I'm running into some blooming stars with it. I thought it was a seeing over the winter, but I've had a couple of good nights with pretty good seeings, and I still have my stars are blooming quite a bit. makes my pictures look like I shot them with a sea star. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Like, share, subscribe. Talk to you later, and clouds suck.